Alright, so I'm just riding, checking some of the 75-day corn. That stuff is really growing, big time. Got the airplane down here. I don't know what they've been spraying. Looks like they left it here. Gonna move the sprayer across town this morning. It's Sunday, June 5th. And I got 200 acres across town to dribble. I'm just gonna take about 700 gallons across town on the sprayer so she's not completely full. And just start doing a little bit. And then Miss Eastern Shore Farmer, she's taking Jamie to work this morning. She's gonna pick me up on the way back. And we have been painting our deck on our pool. We got one coat on it last night, and it's a huge deck. If you watch my previous videos when we built it, we had to wait for the wood to dry, so we are now painting it for the year before it gets used. Oh, I thought I could get around it. I guess I can't. Anyway, here's the airplane. They got 3 or 4 of these things. When they get busy, they bring, oh, I can't get around it. They'll bring them all down and get rolling out of here. They'll have 3 or 4 of them flying in, flying out, so. Wheat looks like it's another 2 weeks off, and we will be cutting. I mean, it is really dying fast. Last year we were in July cutting. This year it's going to be mid-June. We're going to be rolling with it. That's more 75 day. Back there, and here. It's crazy how quick this stuff is rolling. Well, it's all 75 day here on this farm. We did 300 acres. We did the majority of it 75 day. One field 83 day. 2 other fields 85 day to try it. But the 85 and 83 day, the ones we were near the 75 day pioneer. So we'll have to see how the yields are, but I'll probably just be going back to 75 day next year. I mean, this stuff is banging. Except for you can see where I went in with the sprayer and tore up some. This right here is one of the last 75 days that I planted, but it really caught up to the other. Rows are pretty much closed up on it. There's 75 day way back there too. Planting on a different farm. About 65, 70 acres of that on that farm. There's a little field that always stays wet. Turn in here to make sure I hit this tile. It's somewhere around here. You'll know that the pickup goes in and I didn't hit it. I'll play that a little bit thicker because that field stays pretty wet. And here's more 75. I know my filming isn't perfect. I'm doing it through the windows. Here, get better. See them rows of cleaned up, closed up. Here's the big field of 75. Circling around, coming up to the backside of the farm. Looking corn though. We had a nice shot of rain the other night. That really got her jumped up with the nitrogen. I do got to change one of the nozzles over. Plan on doing that now before I move her across town, put fuel in her. And grease her. I'm going to grease this booms and everything. And get her, once we get this drill figured out, get her put in the barn and get her ready. So that's the plan for today on Sunday. Just trying to get a couple things taken care of. Have a good weekend. All right, maybe I can get some help from my viewers. This field right here, all of our fields look awesome. Cornfields are getting tall, dark green, beautiful. But this field right here, for some reason, has, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but let me show you. Right back here. Now we sprayed this and we put nitrogen on it, but for some reason, see how it's corn's more like a lighter green in some of these spots? And it's just in this one field. It's like a little 15-acre field, but if you can see, the spots are like yellow in there. Not that right there is nitrogen burn from dribble. That right there, dark streaks to it, and there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 rows there that are yellow, and then you got a dark streak, then you got 7 more that are yellow, or however many it is, and then you got another yellow streak right there. See it? I don't understand that. You can see pretty good up here. I mean, all the other fields are just green and rolling, but this one field, and you can see it right here. See how the leaves right there are like yellow? Yeah, they're not as dark green. I don't know. And there's a good one right there. You can see it's yellow. I know I read up on some of it, and it's called sudden growth syndrome. And I don't actually know what that means. It's just that the corn is growing too quick or something, I guess. But it's called, from what I typed in, it just says sudden growth syndrome. So I have no idea what that is. So if anybody out there knows, but I mean, the rest of the corn, all of our corn looks great, tall. I mean, you wouldn't believe I finally just got done putting nitrogen on. I did across town. I didn't video any of it because I had 200 acres. I was trying to roll through that stuff and get it done because I wanted to get back. I actually switched the sprayer over, put some Roundup in. I had a couple little, all of our fields are perfectly clean where I sprayed them, but on some of the sand hills, when I was dribbling, I noticed that there was some grass starting to come up around some of the inroads that were sandier, and so I went ahead and put some Roundup in the sprayer and knocked out a couple inroads that I noticed while I was dribbling. So I wanted to take care of that because you could see where the corn was actually a little bit shorter because of that grass growth than the rest of the corn. So I didn't want the yield affected. And there was a couple spots that I really should have hit. It wasn't bad, but I would have had to run. It was a big field, and I would have actually had to, once I turned in, I would have had to run the full length of the field pretty far and then turn around, and it was about 2 sprayer whiffs, but it was only 50 feet long, 50, 75 feet long on the side of a sand hill. And I didn't want to run the full quarter mile of the field and then turn and tear up a bunch of corn and come all the way back up to hit them spots, because I probably would have tore up more corn on the inroads than it would have been worth, because it was a sandy hill, sand spot anyway. I mean, the corn probably ain't going to do that great, but I really don't want it to affect the yield. But I let the boom swing over on the last in row. I put the sprayer in the last in row and I let it swing over as far as I could, and it hit most of it, but there was still some that like a little teeny bit that I couldn't get. But it is what it is. It's closed. Everything's pretty much closed up. But that one spot in that field right there, it just boggles me why all the other corn looks awesome in that one 12, 15 acre field. It looks good, and even the yellow corn is tall and it looks good. It's just, it's got yellow streaks in it. And it's been sprayed, and it's had nitrogen put on it. So I just got to figure out what that is, why it's doing that. So maybe it's lacking something, or it's growing too quick. It doesn't have enough. I mean, we got tons of stuff on it though, so it should roll up. But I'm riding by some of our wheat, checking it. It won't be long at all. And this right here isn't the wheat that's even close to being ready. We'll ride over and look at the other wheat. I mean, it's turning quick. We do have John Deere guy Brian coming up tomorrow. We're going to get the drill ready, and we didn't fix the air seed tube hoses that you'll see in another video, but we're going to wait till he gets here to figure out why it did that. But we are going to get the drill ready for beans, and he's going to work on the combine. There's a couple bearings that we're going to get replaced, and get him to do that and just kind of give her a look over. I mean, we've looked over, it looks good. I noticed 2 of the bearings on the shoe augers need to be replaced. So we're going to fix that, get the drill ready, and then we got everything else ready to rock and roll for wheat. After the combine it's just a waiting game. Like, we gotta get the draper out, but they're calling for rain the next couple nights, couple showers, so there's no point in having the draper put away all year and then pull it out and let it sit out in the rain. You know, we're still 2 weeks away probably from actually cutting wheat. So draper probably, we changed all the roller bearings and teeth and everything on it last year that you saw in other videos, so she should be good to go. You know, hook up and roll with her. Just flex the draper part up. So she should be ready. It's just a combine. We left the concaves out. We took the large wire out because we always put the small wire in for wheat. But we actually left them out because where he's got to replace the bearings, it's a lot easier to get in there and work on the crap than have them in the way. So it don't take about a minute to put the other ones back in. So it's just getting that done, but that drill is an important thing, getting John Deere down here and looking at it and, you know, getting her going. So as soon as that wheat comes out, and I'm sure the same time that I'm cutting Dan will probably take over cutting, but I'll start cutting. And my brother's bale. And as soon as we get the first couple fields off, we're going to be rolling them soybeans in. So, alright, we'll go look at some more wheat and corn. All this wheat over here, that'll be the first wheat we cut, but like I say, it's still 2 weeks off. But she's turning. I mean, it's happening quick too, it's crazy. We got the 112-day corn. That is some good looking corn right there. Stuff after I put nitrogen on, we got that rain. I mean, all the corn is really closed up pretty, real pretty. And that's a little bit of a sandier field, and it's still got that. I mean, it's pretty even all the way across. I don't see any bad spots on any of the drier spots. Of course, we've got the rain when we needed it, but if we can just get some showers here and there, just keep everything going, keeping it pretty, I think it'll be all right. And we got some wheat over there, and then we got wheat up here. We actually got wheat on the other side of that corn too, quite a bit of it. Yeah, this right here will probably be the first field that we get into and get cutting. It is definitely turning. It's gonna be exciting. And wheat is definitely getting ready. More of a wheat. There's some more of it, but that'll be a little bit later. Now that is 85-day corn right here. That's that Seed Consultant 85-day. I mean, like I said, everything looks good except for that one field back there. Wait till I show you this 75-day corn on all the home farm. I mean, it is pretty. That's 75-day right there. We got more of our wheat. It goes all the way back. Now this 75-day up here. This right here was some of the last 75-day that I planted. But this 75-day right here, oh my God, pretty stuff. Big, tall. Look at that. That is so pretty. And we got some wheat over there, a big field, but pretty much it's 75 all the way back to the woods. I mean, that's, I don't know, a mile, and then all over there, and it goes all the way over to them woods. And I think that field ends there, and then the wheat field kind of comes and goes there, and then all around the backside. I'll get out and do some walking. One day we'll walk some fields and you know, get in there and show you exactly what it looks like. Just cruising around today, kind of just looking at fields and farms and stuff. The 108 day, that whole farm. salting. You can see where I didn't spray some grass on this edge right here. And I tell you, if you don't get in there and get your corn spray time, you'll have a couple spots that grass smothers it. Back out to more of our wheat. Ready for wheat harvest. Get everything ready tomorrow. It'll just be a waiting game then, but got some more wheat all down that road. They just blacktop this road, and they're blacktopping the main road. Then we come down and we got more wheat. And everything's dying good. It's dying. It's just fodder. Just gotta wait for everything to get done. And then we got more wheat up here. That's some good thick wheat right there too. All right, good morning. It is Wednesday and it is supposedly fixed drill and combine day. They said they'd be here Wednesday, but who knows? So I want to show you something before I go up to the farm. All right, so we got our deck painted the other day. It took Miss Eastern Shore Farmer and me 3 days. We let it dry all year from when we built it, you know, Mr. Gary. And we finally got it done. We chose the gray and white. It took 3 days to do it. There was a lot of trimming, trying to get the gray in, the white in without overlapping. And I must admit, I am very impressed. We're gonna put a rock wall all the way around it. So it's gonna look real nice, but that's what took so long, was the steps, trying to get the top boards gray and then the front white without hitting each other. But got it all done. Even did around the sides. Didn't want to half-ass it. Got the whole up thing done. Got the ladder put in yesterday. I bolted it, that way the kids yanking on it. So we got everything set up and get ready to enjoy the summertime. All right, so this right here is a 75 day at the farm here. And this is the corn that I put something in it to see what it would do extra in the tank. And as you can see, I'll get out and show you. This corn right here looks 10 times better than everything else. Everything else. I mean, tall, good stalks. I mean, look at just look at it. Way better. And I'm not even in, it's way taller out there. The ends, the ground's a little bit harder on this end row. I did let a dribbler hang over, but with the airplanes flying in and out, it seems like it always causes the outside row to be a little bit weaker on both sides. I don't know if it's got something to do with the wind or what they do, but it's always the outside row on each side of this runway that always a little bit shorter, plus the runway's hard. I don't know if the ground's a little bit harder on this edge right here. But as you can see, corn's pretty tall. I mean, hell, its leaves are pretty much up to my chest already. Remember the other day when we did it, the corn was here in the other video, and it's way taller out there. So that stuff really worked. I think it added up to be maybe 25 cents an acre extra. And the growth and the color and everything looks 10 times better. I wish I had done it in this video, you'll see the field in the back that has some yellow in it. I wish I had done it there, but I experimented on part of this farm. I did 2 tanks. I did the 112 day, and that corn you saw in the video how it looked. It looks just like this. I mean, green, tall. I mean, it jumped quick. I mean, quick. And so the corn definitely likes it. I mean, it's 75 day, 75 day. The whole farm right here is 75 day, and then the far back is. I wish I just got enough to do 2 tanks. Like I said, I tried it on the 112 day, the new variety, and I did it on the 75 day, and it looks like it's made a big difference so far. So, but it looks good, so see what the end result is. But just the way it looks now, definitely should do it on all of our corn next year. And they say it's good to put it on top of beans, but you know, I haven't got that far yet. But just from looking at the corn, and it's 2 different varieties. I tried it on 2 different varieties to see how it would work, long season, short season, and it looks like so far it's paying off. Yeah, so I'm happy with it so far. You know, like I say, well, as long as we keep getting some rains and see what the yield does. But very impressed with it so far. Very pretty corn. Pretty corn. Very pretty corn. I think this is the prettiest 75 day to date at this growth stage that we've had. And last year 75 went 192. And the Pioneer guys was pretty impressed with that. So for a 75 day variety, that's pretty damn spectacular. Sun just coming up. I'm going to get 200 out of my 75 day one day. I just keep tinkering with it, and I want to get at least 40 in beans this year. We did 34 last year behind it. So I want to try to push 40 this year. I'm going to probably put the same stuff on the beans and give it that extra boost. I like to really stress the beans early, let them get a little bit more pods on, and then when they get taller, then put the stuff on there and help it that much more, being they are going to be in the ground so late. But like I said, this whole farm's 75. So plus with $8 corn and $17.30, I think is what the beans are. So I mean, it's a no-brainer to do a double crop. I did get it in a little later this year, but anymore it seems like it stays cold all the way up till April, May, and it stays warmer all the way up to December. So I don't think that's going to be a factor. We're still gonna send it. So that's the game plan. So I'm gonna get up here and start getting some things ready for Brian, my John Deere guy, so we can start. I definitely want to get the drill done first, get it folded up and put away, and then get the combine done. They're calling for rain this afternoon, tonight somewhere, so I want the rain, but I want to get the stuff fixed first. So I won't video all of it because John Deere doesn't like me videoing an Atlantic Tractor. Atlantic Tractor doesn't anyway, so because they're just fucking weird. Pardon my language, but it's the truth. They're weird. So, but you'll see some of it anyway. And we were actually sitting here the other day, my dad was, I was on the road, and just sitting here out of the blue, this hose right here, it used to rub the frame, you can see it right there. But you know, the drill had been sitting here for 2 or 3 days, and out of the blue, he was sitting over there in the pickup, and this hose just busted. You can see before I replaced it, it had rubbed a little bit right here. And just out of the blue, bam, just blue oil everywhere, and the blaze dropped. So that's a good warning. Don't ever try to get underneath something, because you never know when a hose will blow, even if it's been sitting here for days. So I ended up fixing it, getting a new hose. Actually, I got 4 new hoses because we have 2 of them that got pinched by the closing wheels over there. So they're not broke, but I'm going to be ready, and then I want a spare. But this right here, I ended up putting that on there. That way if it does rub, it rubs this. So anyway, getting it right today.
Since I took office, families are carrying less debt. Their average savings are up. More Americans feel financially comfortable than any time since the survey began in 2013.
Absolutely fucking not.
You lying motherfucker, stop.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
You liar!
I'm broke, nigga, I'm broke!
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?